Are you ready, Monarch fans? It's time for the Old Dominion Football Show with Bruce Rader and Coach Bobby Wilder. Sponsored by a Step-in-Time Chimney.
Out of the frying pan into the fryer. That's what it must have felt like for the Old Dominion football players after grueling early season games against Virginia Tech, Virginia, and East Carolina. The Monarchs began their conference season Saturday, having to face first-place Western Kentucky. The result was not what anybody wanted, and this week it's back on the road to play a conference game at Marshall. How is the team handling the adversity? Let's find out. The Old Dominion Football Show starts now. I'm Bruce Rader along with head coach Bobby Wilder. Coach, coming off a 20-3 loss to Western Kentucky, a team with an outstanding defense. Your offense just couldn't seem to find the end zone. What happened?
Oh, it was really frustrating, Bruce, for everybody involved, particularly early in the game when our defense got a couple of turnovers and we started drives on the 12-yard line, the 14-yard line, and only came away with 3 points on those two drives. And it's a combination of youth, of injuries. We're trying to find the right plays right now to run for this group so they can have some success. And we came out in the second half, Bruce, and had a couple of really good drives deep into Western Kentucky territory and then hurt ourselves with penalties. And our biggest issue right now is we don't have those explosive plays in our package that we've been so used to in the past.
I want to talk about both youth and injuries as we go on today. You have said, though, for months that this was one of the youngest teams that you have ever coached in your career. And I guess it's kind of hard to judge how they're going to perform every week.
Yeah, it reminds me of the 2009 team in that, number one, young, and then number two, players from everywhere. You know, we brought in 24 either junior college or grad transfer players. So they're new to playing together. And when you look at our roster right now, Bruce, there's only one senior starting on offense. There's only two seniors starting on defense. So all these kids are back next year, and it's learning how to play together. We're doing it really well on defense and special teams. We've got to do it better on offense.
But you knew that going into the season. You knew that this was going to be a rebuilding year.
Yeah, I knew it could be a tough year. I thought we'd be a little farther ahead on offense, and the biggest issue we have right now on offense, we had 4 starters either out or limited in this game, and then we lost our starting tight end, Dante Anthony, in the first quarter of this game, which affected the packages. We were trying to run more tight end packages, so we need to get everybody back healthy and get it all together.
Now, I know you would rather your defense not give up 20 points, but they are so good right now at stopping the run. Lawrence Gardner seems to be getting better every week. And while Marshall has quarterback Isaiah Green putting up big numbers, they've also had some problems finding the end zone.
Yeah, they did. They had nearly 600 yards last week against Middle Tennessee and scored 13 points, and really proud of our defense right now, Bruce, and our defensive players. They've adapted to the scheme that Coach Blackwell and the staff are running. And again, I mentioned there's only 2 seniors starting on that side of the ball. We're top 20, Bruce, in a number of categories right now on defense. And for us on defense, Bruce, it really starts up front. Our front 4 are doing such a good job creating havoc, meaning negative yardage plays, pressuring the quarterback, and really doing a good job of protecting Lawrence Garner and Jordan Young, our linebackers, are keeping them free to make plays.
Now, we've talked about the youth, but coaches never like to use injuries as an excuse. I know you don't, but on offense, you really need a program every single week to find out who's playing at wide receiver or running back.
Yeah, we played 24 offensive players in this last game against Western Kentucky, and we talked before about you got to have your backup. I call them backup ones. I don't call them twos. Your backup ones need to be ready to go, whether it's an injury or some of the rotations we're trying to do with guys playing. And the big point we made to the offensive kids this week, Bruce, is you got to outperform yourself in practice. So on Tuesday practice, when we got to Wednesday, you got to outperform who you were on Tuesday, and I felt like we've done that the first couple days this week, working to get better. There's a level of patience you have to have with a young football team as you're trying to develop them. And offensively, Bruce, schematically, continue to look at ourselves in a self-scout mode and say, what is it we do well? Let's build on it.
I know in a situation like this, you don't always have a starting lineup. Do you expect to see any major changes in your starting lineups on either side of the ball?
Yeah, I do believe there'll be some adjustments that we'll do offensively. The point I made to the offensive staff and the players, Bruce, is what I want to see is us continue to work to get better. I want to see that team that I watched in the first half of the Virginia game offensively that was 220 yards and 17 points, 11 for 13 passing for 180 yards, and that's when we were healthy. And again, there's no excuse with the injuries, but we were growing, we developed, we were healthy, and now we've started to get hit with these injuries the last couple weeks. So if we can get our guys back, just stay focused on what we're doing and improve, but there will be some adjustments to playing time based on performance.
Would one of those be starting quarterback?
Yeah, both quarterbacks are competing this week for the starting job. I've coached, played quarterback my whole life, and you never want to put the focus or the onus on the quarterback when it's a group effort right now, but that position also needs to be more productive.
All right, when we come back, defensive tackle Jeremy Miser has been one of the keys to Old Dominion's defensive resurgence, but does he have what it takes to take on Nathan Epstein in the 1-minute drill? That's coming up next on the Old Dominion Football Show.
Welcome back to the Old Dominion Football Show. We're here with the 1-minute drill. Jeremy Miser, he's a defensive tackle, going to be a junior this year. So first of all, Jeremy, what is your favorite meal?
Steak and potatoes. For sure.
Always.
Or Chipotle. I can eat Chipotle anytime.
What's the go-to at Chipotle?
A bowl. Extra brown rice, black beans, chicken, tomatoes, extra corn, extra sour cream, and cheese.
Favorite reality show is what?
Back when I watched reality TV, probably Jersey Shore.
You got a favorite character from Jersey Shore?
Probably Mike. Always kept it interesting.
Any good impersonations from Jersey Shore?
I don't think so. No, I try not to be like them, to be honest, but it was fun to watch.
The last movie you cried at was what?
The Lion King. I went and watched The Lion King the other day, and it reminded me of my childhood. Cried a little bit when the dad died.
Do you have a touchdown dance?
No, but when I score one, I'll have one.
Fair enough. And finally, what's your favorite thing about being a Monarch?
The fans. Great fans.
All right, Jeremy Miser, why don't you say goodbye to the Monarch Nation?
Come to the games, yo.
Well, Jeremy played high school football, famous Moeller High School up in Cincinnati, and he's the kind of football player, great pedigree, that you want to have on your team.
He is, and he is playing at such a high level right now, Bruce. He's playing at an all-conference level as an interior defensive lineman, one of the strongest players on our team, and what he's developed, Bruce, is that first step off the ball is so quick right now. He's in the backfield on almost every single play, and he's really helping make the other guys around him better. He and Jawan Ross right now are playing as well as we could expect inside.
And that's what you need with such a young team.
No question. You got to get that explosiveness off the ball in the interior D-line, and he's providing it.
All right. We'll talk more about Saturday's game against Marshall coming up next. Don't go away. Welcome back, Bruce Rader, along with Coach Bobby Wilder. Another conference game on the road at Marshall. Doc Holliday always has his team ready for ODU, but he's never faced a Bobby Wilder team that slows the game down so much.
We are, Bruce. That's a good point you bring up. We're normally an 80-play-a-game team. We're down in the mid-50s now as we're really redefining who we are. We're trying to become that team that plays defense first. And the thing about this Marshall team, Bruce, they lost to a really good Boise State team on the road, really good Cincinnati team at home, opened up conference play last year and lost, or last week lost at Middle Tennessee. So I know they'll be hungry for a win this weekend.
There is still a lot of football yet to be played. You almost upset Virginia Tech. You almost upset the University of Virginia. So your players know that they can compete. How do you keep them in the game?
Well, the number one thing we got to do is get everybody back healthy right now. If we get healthy, we are a good football team. I really feel like, Bruce, this is a championship caliber football team we have. And I realize I'm saying that when we're 1-4, but we've got talented players on this football team. If we can get healthy, keep everybody focused on the process of improving, we have a really good football team.
Well, how about a quick injury report going into Saturday? Any key players we won't see?
Yeah, we've got, right now, there's about 20 players on the injury report. A lot of bumps and bruises this time of year. The guys that we probably won't see at this point, we probably still won't get Eric Kuma back at this point. Lala Davis is still nursing that badly sprained ankle. So a couple other guys I'm hoping will make it back. I'm hoping Nick Salvadori, tackle, will be back. Dante Anthony, tight end. That would be a big help if we can at least get those two back.
And in about 20 seconds, the redshirt deadline has passed. Are any of these players potentially going to be redshirted?
It's a possibility. The one interesting thing, Bruce, with the rule is now it's 4 games total during the year. So a guy could play week 1, 4, 8, 9, and you could still redshirt him. We've got a couple players in that situation, but the point I made to the team, it's all about winning right now.
So theoretically, this is not a decision that is to be made until after the season is over.
That's correct. As long as the total of 12 games you have, they play in 4 or less.
All right, well, Coach, go take on Doc. You can be sort of the Jesse James to Doc Holliday
like
this
that.
week. Old Dominion at Marshall, 2:30 up in Huntington, West Virginia. Coach, good luck. Hope to talk about a win next Wednesday
Sounds
night
good.
on the Old Dominion Football Show. Good night, everybody.